in this, right? So this is probably like a 9 out of 10 guarantee you're going to get hired if you ask these two questions. So the first question is, what are some of the challenges your company faces? That's asking them and engaging like, okay, what are some of the challenges I might have to come in on? I don't know. It's just basically letting them know like you're like pretty interested in this position and seeing like what's the good and bad in the position that you may have to be aware of. The second question, is there any growing opportunity within the company? That shows too you plan on staying long term, and also that like you want to grow within the company, like you want to be the best version of yourself, that you see yourself in another position within the company. So if you ask them two questions, they're gonna be like, oh, this baby want to work. Like, let's go ahead and hire you, because who's really asking that?
Again, I've said this before. There's no silver bullet. There's no mic drop, right? There's no one question or even two questions that's going to guarantee to get you the job. You can have the best interview in the world. You can ask the best questions in the world. It still doesn't mean that you're going to get a job. Not 9 times out of 10, not 8 times out of 10, not 7 times out of 10. Sometimes you just don't get the job. Now, with that being said, stay away from these cookie cutter questions. Your questions should be thoughtful. You should have prepared your questions before the interview, if at all possible. But ideally, you want to ask questions that are organic to the conversation that you guys are having. Doesn't it sound crazy if you're talking to someone about the basketball game and then all of a sudden they whip and say something about the ballet? You're going to wonder, well, where the hell did that come from? Why did you ask me about the ballet and we were just talking about the football game? That's crazy as hell. Stop with these cookie cutter questions. If the interviewer said something during the interview that piqued your interest, and something should have piqued your interest, you ask a question, you ask a follow-up question. Not only do you ask a question, but you then respond after they've answered it to identify how you can help fulfill or help solve that problem that they may have. To further accent, to accentuate your skills and what you bring to the organization. Asking generic cookie cutter questions is crazy. On top of that, every question should be based on the person that you're speaking to. It should be based on the HR manager. If you're speaking to an HR manager during a screening, they should ask you, they should say, hey, do you have any questions? And you ask questions, very generic questions at that point from an HR perspective. Don't ask them about the company stock and what's going on, for their 12 or 18-month plan, because the HR person doesn't know. They don't give a damn. All they care about is screening you and make sure that you can go into the next stage of the process. That's all they care about. The hiring manager, don't ask them about benefits. Don't ask them about time off. Don't ask them about pay. Don't ask them about hybrid work dynamics. Don't ask them that stuff. You ask them questions about the role. That's what they care about. They have a problem that need to be solved. You ask them a problem about the role and how you can solve the problem. And when you ask them, they will answer, and you do a follow-up and say, hey, Mike, I'm glad you shared that information. Based on my experience at this organization, I should be able to solve that problem for you. That's how you talk to to a hiring manager. And if you're talking to a CEO or SVP, you don't talk to them about the day-to-day, because they don't know. They don't know what's going on day to day. You don't talk to them about the benefits. Why? Because they don't know about the benefits. You talk to them about long-term aspirations, long-term growth, a year from now, 18 months from now, 6 months from now, the direction of the company, the direction of the organization. Those are the things that you talk to that person about. You don't have a cookie cutter generic question that you can ask and think that you're going to get the job. It doesn't work that way. And if you hear people online saying that if you ask this one question, it's a mic drop. If you ask this question, you're 90% chance of getting the job, they're bullshitting you. I'm telling you, they're bullshitting you. Don't go in there with that. You figure out some questions. You make sure your questions are organic and they are tailored to the person that you're speaking to. Then you have a better chance of getting the job. And even then, your ass still may not get it. Cool? Thanks a bunch.